Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our final game for this Saturday of the PUBG Global Invitational EU Qualifier Final. Say that 3 times fast. My name is Jorisar, and observing is iTwister as we move in. iTwister, by the way, not related to iWasabi. But hopefully you get neither of those things in your eye. That would be rather painful indeed. We have a 10 o'clock, no, pardon me, a 2 o'clock to a 9 o'clock plane path. Will Vitality, Singularity, Penta, Knights, Finstack keep it together? Team 1 have had a tremendous number of consistent performances. The Imperial, a little bit unlucky in the last game. Are they going to see redemption here? Don't forget, it's not the end of this game that decides which 5 teams move on to Leicester for the regional finals. No. There are still 4 more games to play. Tomorrow, we'll be back at 12 o'clock British time or 1 o'clock Central European time tomorrow for games 5 through 8, where the top 5 teams will progress. In the meantime, we are thick into the action. Game number 4. Penta look like they have Pachinki to themselves, and hold your horses. Holy circle, Batman. We are going back to the right-hand side. We've got a Milta shift moving on here. And I'd say there are about 7 teams in the circle, with everyone else needing to drive up. Knights are going to be reasonably pleased. They are outside of Lepovka in their normal kind of spot. Oh, and Tomka managing to get a hit onto, let me see, that's onto Invictus Aquilas to start things off. Not ideal. Running them over. Invictus Team 20 moving on to Military Island, and looking like, unfortunately, they're going to be leaving their fallen teammate behind. That was 5 Aces Esports, by the way. Tomka finishing off the kill there. Radic, his teammate, chasing by the looks of things. Mercu. And it looks like, oh my, we could see a second down, unfortunately, for Invictus Aquilas. They are running, looking for an opportunity to get into get into a compound and find a gun. But with Radic so close behind him, even if you do find a gun, no, Radic actually moving out. A gun was spotted. It's a shotgun. Oh, will Invictus manage to stay alive here? They know this person is on their own. They know that there's nowhere to run, but Radic has no weapon. 5 Aces Esports with the early kill, almost making it 2, but not quite getting it to stick. That's all right, though, because they still have to rotate in. And those teams are actually split between Main Island and Military Island, so they're going to have to worry about how they're going to deal with this in the near future. LDLC, Dalasar and Co., that's Mangusta Esports, are in South George at the moment, squaring off against each other. LDLC have 1 person in hospital as well, and not far from them, not far at all, are Spoof, Cheese Doodles and Co., who are just south of their position. And that is the Trike Stunt crew, by the way, Team 13. So that, barring some sort, I mean, it's possible for that crate to get looted, but basically it won't. You're going to be rather far in the open and opening yourself up to a lot of shots on the cliff if you wanted to go for that. It's unlikely that would end up happening. So that crate, not the most useful one that we've ever seen in this game, unfortunately. But that's all right. No teams rushing in yet. And there are plenty of... there's a combination of 2 things, really. There are plenty of compounds in the first circle. So it's not absolutely necessary. And the Blue Zone doesn't do that much damage yet. But also on top of that, there are a couple of teams still stuck in engagements and still being pinned down a little bit. So Mangusta and LDLC struggle bearing it just a bit in South George. You can see the apartments there are firmly in possession of Mangusta. LDLC are kind of dotted around. We have Moman in the bar. In the bar, and I wish it was a bar. My man Moman. Sidon relatively close by, but Prolosko is actually looking at him from 2 different angles. So have to be They don't have to be too careful, actually. I was going to say you have to be careful, but they don't. And that's because while they are currently in their buildings, they're not really in danger of being rushed just yet. However, moving out of the building is something different entirely, because they effectively are playing a 4v2 until the rest of the squad get here. Moman doing his best to look through the windows. There won't actually be anyone too close to him. He could actually exit, in my opinion, the north end of the barn through the window and get away. But then what of the rest of his team? The question becomes, what next? Is there a vehicle on a road nearby? Can LDLC steal? Can Sidon steal a vehicle, for instance? So he sat here in this triple story. But do we have a car? Oh, that dasher is a very, very long walk away. If you are in the crosshairs of some people who are good enough to be playing in this lobby, really, aren't they? Nubia66, in the meantime, gets run over, unfortunately, by Texas from Knights. Now, Knights don't actually have to transition. They just thought it would be fun to get in a car and run people over anyway. Fair enough. So, unfortunately, Nubia is going to go down there. That's Team Sharks. Sidon spotting. Oh no, he doesn't spot an enemy. He's actually is he taking out the car tie? He's taking out his own way of getting out of here. Oh dear God. Well, they're in it for the long haul now, that's for sure, ladies and gents. Absolutely no question about that. So as we move further towards the blue zone, starting to take some of these players, Shelter and Milter are going to get awfully crowded. Team Vitality at the moment are holding down Milter. But it's a lot of buildings for them to cover. If we see a second circle that centers in on Milter, for example, it would not surprise me to see Vitality collapse in on one part of the city, so that if someone crashes a car in and tries to go 4v1, it's possible for them to defend themselves. At the moment, they are safe, but they're also extremely spread out. And they've got Project X to contend with on the north side as well. That's Andrea Rectu, Panda Hacks, Filou, and Egidorp, our French team just north of Milter. And above them, oh my goodness, we have Raptor G and co as well. Teams very close to each other, but not quite close enough yet for these full-on engagements to erupt. Alternate attacks. Whoa! Second-hand parking lot going on in here. That is a little bit sneaky. We have one of every vehicle in the game except for a two-seater bike by the looks of things. And they are very well prepared. Very well prepared indeed. Alternate attacks. Team 18. You're looking at Rax, Kygod, Frost, and Sudi. With all of the vehicles, hoarding them in this brilliant parking lot that we see south of Shelter. We now have the transitions in actually a little bit earlier than the blue getting people, which is interesting. We have Team 1 in slot 11 in-game, somewhat predictably. Still looting around Venice, or Watertown, or Sunken, or whatever you guys want to call it. Doing a little bit of a 2-and-2 split. In the meantime, it looks like we're consistently watching people on three-seater bikes because Twister's hoping to catch someone, flip one, and die. Doesn't look like that's happening at the moment to Cloudsail, but he's getting extremely close to that hut. And that hut is going to be the end of him as Odense Esport, ladies and gentlemen. That is Krillian, Rowan, Raptor G, and Hjort will take him out. Sailing very, very close to the win there, and unfortunately, it will not pay off for him on this occasion. So he acts as the scout. The scout is now dead. Now, interestingly, DTG here are in boats on the south side of the main island. Are they going to go towards the crate? They'll be within shooting distance of Knights. I don't know if Knights are going to be gatekeeping that by staying on the coastline. It's entirely possible that we see someone try and grab this crate here. for now, north of Milta. All quiet. Project X looking on, taking a few shots at this UAZ. There shouldn't be enough to actually finish it off. Vitality are moving interestingly to the west side of Milta. So we predicted earlier it might be going into town. They're actually moving out of town on the west side. If the circle shifts away from the city center, this is going to be really good for them. So I can see how they're trying to play it. And if it goes back into the city, they will take the southeastern part of Milta. So that's how they've chosen to play it. The next circle is relatively donutty. Or rather, I should say that's the first circle still closing in. The next one might be relatively donutty, but we don't know that. Apologies. DCG opting to stay on the beach on the mainland. They are right next to Knights, but there's a significant amount of elevation separating the two teams at the moment, so not too much to worry about. That is Xenon Gaming, by the way, with DTG Mark. I believe that is an old tag, so in case you're wondering, these guys are now known as Xenon. SNG moving in. Team Singularity from the north side of the map. Nobody is in prison. But they could be stopping off there, but I'd be surprised if they went to go loot. I feel like they'd have everything they need right now. And if you get ambushed in prison, it can be rather difficult to get out. Very, very steep cliffs. Very few places to hide. And basically only one route in or out. So the next circle does turn out is a little bit donutty. Off to the west side, somewhat. Not the world's most difficult shift, but we see some teams now moving in relatively early. That's Team Odense in their vehicles, moving swiftly on, looking for a home and a compound in the next circle. Maybe opting to switch towards the left-hand side. You can see there are actually a few compounds near where Team 13 are, the Trike Stunt crew, that are unoccupied at the moment, and it looks like fake Mikas and co are going to be taking that. Oh my goodness, Andrea wrecked you. No, sir. Andrea got wrecked. And that was painful. Got run over. I think that was OPG. He technically got out of the car just before it ran him over. So it looked like Andrea killed himself. That is not what happened there. We saw that from a very first-person point of view. And Mad Max Fury Grounds is in full operation here in game number 4 of Lobby 3. All sorts of carnage as teams try and get in position right now to move into the next phase of the game. It looks like we have a little bit of a game crash. We'll be hopping back into the game in just a second. So just to give you guys a little bit of clarity on where we're going at the moment. We have Team Vitality, we have Penta Knights, Team Singularity, Finstack, Red Zone, Odense, Project X1. All of these teams fighting to be in the top 5. And of course, that's basically 1/3 of the teams that we have in here. I think I mentioned Finstack already. Don't know why they're on this sheet twice. Let's go ahead and fix that. The Imperial also were in potential position to try and sneak things in. But at the moment, they were sort of performing a little bit of a gatekeeping capacity to the west of Milta. Sharks and Ambush Esport were relatively close by. Don't forget, Ambush Esport and iWasabi were doing an incredible job in the previous game, where iWasabi got 6 kills en route to getting them into 4th place. Much needed points for the leaderboard. These are 4 games today, 4 games tomorrow, where the top 5 teams go on to the offline event in Leicester. So all sorts of important points getting realized here, and a lot of hard shifts going into this circle. I'm a little surprised with how many vehicles we actually saw moving through, now that I think about it, considering it was relatively donutty. There weren't too many compounds left untaken, but it wasn't like a lot of existing compounds were getting completely booted out as well. Nevertheless, we will find out what the result of that is as we hop back into the game. All is well on the west. Oh my goodness, this looks like a bag of Smarties, ladies and gentlemen, on the overhead cameras here. Let's go ahead and see what the lay of the land looks like. Still 20 teams here and 68 people left alive. You have not missed a team elimination. We wouldn't want to let do that, would you? It's all good. You're in safe hands here. For those of you just joining us, I'm Jorisar, and observing is iTwister. Thank you very much, Twister, for getting back into the game so quickly. Routine little disconnect, but we are back in and surveying the land in and around Milta as the second circle starts to constrict. Still 20 teams alive here at the PGI EU Qualifier Finals. You're in Lobby 3 and you are watching game number 4. Krama takes out Todeshku. That's on the east side of Milter. There should be nobody around where Knights are at the moment. Oh, we have got a crate as well, though, interestingly, and that is very close to Odense Esport. Did they manage to grab that? They've also got someone from Project X nearby as well. And Krillian goes down. Let's see if the crate has been looted. Let's go ahead and take a look. McCann's going to finish off Krillian, but what I want to know is who's got the crate. Let's see if we can find out. That's Panda Hacks in the Wizard Tower nearby. P-Day, relatively close. Ah, okay, it hasn't landed yet, so no one's got it, but they can see it coming, and this is extremely dangerous. Let's check out what's inside this bad boy. We have an M249 with, of course, full level 3 gear, a painkiller for the headache when this crate lands on your head, and a tactical stock because we can find a way to weld or screw or bolt it onto the M249. And a couple of teams within shouting distance of this. Panda Hacks eyeing it up. We've also got someone from the Imperial very close by as well. And potential long-range sniper shots coming in. All sorts of possibilities here in game number 4. Do they start with this crate, though? Extremely open. You can spot the flip dasher. You know what happened there. Odense arrived a little bit early, and they paid the price for it, unfortunately, as Krillian got taken out. That's the crate landing. I think it could be a little while before anyone goes for this. You can see the Team Red Zone actually have people in the crossfire as well. So let's take a look at what's going on in Milter. We ride with Monkey Lasinge. This is Team Vitality. Looking out on the view, that is Ambush Esport as well. Extremely close, too. To squad number 7, Esports Kosovo. Very close proximity. Not really wanting to have to deal with that right now. LDLC scouting! LDLC finishing scouting, and that is Leicester down. Red Zone McCann managing to get off the kill on that one. That will be that. We are down, ladies and gentlemen, to 19 teams now. Finally have a team out of the game. This has proven to be incredibly tense. A lot of the teams playing conservatively, looking for opportunities to get more loot, just getting the odd pick off where possible, not going in for these big committed team fights. And that is resulting in a game that is going to end up exploding like a tinderbox in just a couple of minutes' time when the next circle comes in. As soon as these compounds move out of the circle and we see multiple teams moving into the center, a lot of carnage is going to take place. Relatively settled now are these teams. 17 and 12. Mangusta Esports and 5 aces over on the west-hand side. West-hand side? Yeah, I'm going to roll with that. Over on the west-hand side. They're going to find it a little bit tricky to move into circle without Project X being able to take shots at them. They have Project X to the north, but they also have several teams off to the east as well, not making it easy for them to traverse this terrain. And then, of course, that's assuming they don't actually go into each other. The biggest danger for Squad 12 right now, 5 aces, is the fact that Mangusta goes straight behind them. Knights outside of the Wizard Tower. Pardon me, that's not a Wizard Tower. It's a yellow hut. I thought it was a Wizard Tower on the minimap for some reason. They have one person down, courtesy of Invictus Aquilas over there. Long-range snipe, and Draydon is not able to get to his teammates, so the Knights are down to 3 people now as the third zone constricts. Chucking a smoke anyway for good measure. And a couple of shots landing on Knights still. They probably need to get indoors and sort of reevaluate there, unfortunately. Brexco now moving massively into the circle. He's actually leading the charge on a bike as well. Extremely open as Penta move in here. They're going to rush straight in to what I think are Team Red Zone in this compound. Penta are really going for it. They have decided to make neighbors with Red Zone. And this is brave. There was a big chance that one of them would have gone down in the process of getting to this compound, but they managed to survive with 4. Sharks now getting a kill off onto Skinny Love. So those shots earlier onto Knights maybe not paying dividends for Invictus as they give away their position to other squads as well. Very close to each other now. And dear oh dear, we were talking about a possible collapse onto Milter earlier. That's exactly what's about to happen. Most of Milter is in this 4th circle that is going to be coming on in just a second. Finstack now split. There is no way I think these guys can save Zulol. He is inside a compound where alternate attacks absolutely own all of the real estate. And it would require alternate attacks to all rush out and die in a team fight instantly for Zulol to be rezzed. And indeed, he gets finished off by a grenade chucked by alternate attacks' Rax. Timmy's getting shot at by Team 18. That's still alternate attacks continuing to defend this position. They haven't backed off just yet, even though they have the numbers disadvantage due Finstack. It's because they need to defend it. They might actually have to defend this from the guys coming around up top as well. You can see Fake, Raffi, and Co. moving in. And that is potentially dangerous for Team 1. They could sandwich Finstack and actually claim this position for their own, but they're going to be going further east by the looks of things and continuing their journey on foot. Reasonably conservative, nice and smart, not wanting to contest. And they might actually have up to a quarter of the circle to themselves, on their own, rather, I should say. Which is nice. The further they rotate east now, the better it's going to get for them. There are 3 or 4 teams in Milter. They're going to be safe for now, but if they ever had to hard shift out of Milter, it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to get a foothold in the circle. There'll be plenty of people gatekeeping. That's why I like Knights' position so much at the moment. They have both options available to them if push came to shove. Still not easy to rotate out of where they are, of course. By no means is it guaranteed, but they are doing a fantastic job right now. Jorgeni and Co. Finstack now deciding to move elsewhere, going straight into the middle of the circle. And they will be able to get a wizard tower for themselves, which is nice. Clambering into the ground floor. Not ideal if someone has a nade nearby, but there is no one nearby to shoot them at the moment. One of them goes down. That would be Kramer getting a shot off onto Timmy's. Timmy's will be able to get resurrected, though. Knights, as their neighbors, potentially looking to push up. This would be incredibly aggressive, and I don't think they'll do it. And the reason I don't think they'll do it is because they open themselves up to fire from Team Singularity, as well as Team Sharks that are behind them in Milter, shooting up. So, yes, the Knights can take these guys on if it was a 1v1 fight, but by leaving their compound, it stops being a 1v1 fight, and that is the problem that they're suffering from at the moment. They have to wait for the next circle before they decide on their next strategic play. P-Day dies outside of the circle. That is the Imperial. Biango as well from the Trike Stunt crew going down, as well as Cheese Doodles. Oh my, and that is the whole of Squad 10. Project X getting taken out, shot at from 2 directions. And that was from Team Vitality and Odense Esport. On the southwestern edge of the circle, they were trying to come on in. And unfortunately, 2 different squads engaged them at the same time. This is the problem with being one of the last people into the circle. You run into situations like this. And they are out of the game. 14 teams left alive, ladies and gents, here in the PGI EU Qualifier Finals. Now let's see, are the buildings out? The next circle is about to reveal itself, and ooh, broadly out. The Knights are going to be relatively impressed. Team Singularity are still quite close to the center of the circle and not having to worry about too much right now, which is excellent for them. But in reality, the teams in Milter are where we are going to be watching a lot. The tinderbox is about to explode, ladies and gentlemen. All the teams in Milter are going to have to move up. On the north side, we're going to see 2 or 3 different engagements. We see Fraser taking out Texas now. Amusingly, that's the one thing I wasn't expecting to happen. I thought people were busy gatekeeping each other, but apparently Team Singularity are after blood and they want to take out the Knights. They're going to have enough people coming towards their position from Milter soon enough, though, that Singularity are going to have to shift their focus sooner rather than later. Drayden, a little bit of a lucky escape. Fraser perhaps wasn't expecting someone to just roll across left to right on the screen like that. Fires off a couple of suppressed shots from that M4, but it will be ever so slightly late. Nothing connecting. Kronex, on the other hand, connects well onto Hjort, and that is a headshot down. Pence are still on the west side of the circle. They will eventually have to move out and move in. So all is not well for them just yet. They're doing okay in their current position. Another shift coming out from a team, I think that's Team Red Zone moving in. No, pardon me, that's Fake & Co. That is not Team Red Zone. That is Team 1, so squad number 11. They are right on the 2 o'clock edge of the circle. They're still going to have to do some sort of hard shift unless a miracle occurs for them. And now the rest of Team Vitality looking like they're getting pinned down by Team Singularity. A lot of smokes going down as they tried to move in. Shadow 1K in a significantly better position, but they are also very, very close to the blue, and they're going to have to move in. Team Vitality are looking for cover as they continue to shift across. They're going to have to move into Squad 9 Odense. Now, the good news is Odense is just a single person, so chances are they won't be looking for the squad wipe right now. But the problem is the people who are shooting Odense are shooting them as well, and it's Penta over the other side of the hill. Orexe is currently down. Managing to take out Odense is useful because that's one less person potentially shooting at them as they try and move into the circle. But unfortunately, Team Vitality are pinned down. Yes, they have smokes, but smokes are finite. They do not last forever, losing more and more members now to Penta as the bullets continue to rain down on them. The good news is that Froz and Co. from Team Red Zone are giving Penta a little bit more to think about, as well as Kronex gets knocked down. So they will have to shift their attention elsewhere. But the damage has been done. Shiv and Shadow 1K looking to carry their team now. But there is so little cover where they're currently at. And I believe they're still not technically in. They still have to snake in on that southwestern side of the circle. Well, that conveniently placed buggy. Oh no! That spawns inside the warehouse. We'll just about be able to get there. There we go. Mean that vehicles are going to be Team Red Zone's way out of here. Now, this is going to be incredibly loud. They will attract the attention of Penta. But where are they going to go? They go into the middle of the circle. That's a road. North and south will be able to hit them willy-nilly. And, oh, Knights, oh, Knights, oh, Knights. Whatever you had for breakfast this morning, I want some. All the teams out of Milter are now going to be focusing on them. Everyone on the west side of the circle are going to be focusing on them. And the good news for Red Zone is they don't have to worry about Penta anymore because they are also going to be rotating out, but they're rotating out straight into the path of Vitality. We're going to see a Penta Vitality showdown on the west end of the circle right now. They have to move through. They are seconds away. There goes Shiv. He goes down as well. And that is the end of Shadow 1K. Penta managed to charge through what remains of the team. Don't forget, it was a 4v2 situation. Udirme Fire going down to about 20% hit point, but he will be able to get back up, get the heal. They are going to have to run quite a long way, though, and they could be running into Team Singularity next. In the meantime, Suri in the buggy trying to outwit, but unfortunately, he can't outdrive the downed tire on that buggy as he is forced to heal. If that buggy explodes right now, it's going to be curtains for him. He is under the watchful eye of Team Finstack in that Wizard Tower. Here comes the play area. Cup of Magic just about gets... oh, is he actually going to get a heal off in time? He's in the blue. He's going to have to run, and this is not going to be a fun rotation for Penta. They're going to have to go through Team Singularity as they make their way into the circle next. Still 12 teams left alive, and there's going to be very, very little room for maneuver and for error as this game draws towards its conclusion. Penta continuing to move up to Singularity. They have got that defilade underneath those yellow houses to help mask their ascent. But at the end of the day, they're going to have to fight their way in or move around. Now that could be interesting because Red Zone are effectively gatekeeping for them. That's 2 knocks onto alternate attacks. Kaigot and Rax both going down as Red Zone are effectively shielding this fight from the right-hand side. Penta move around the yellow houses like we were talking about. It could be an option for them. They could move around the other side and effectively gatekeep Singularity as they move into the circle as well. So it's a question of who ends up being more mobile. Udir looking for down. Doesn't find it though, unfortunately, and T-Dove takes him down with the AK from inside the house. We now have Tauzera moving on the right-hand side. That is excellent strategy there from them. Gets a fantastic flank, 1 down, but the rest are still by it, and he manages to take out Penta. That's it. T-Dove and Tauzera finish off Penta, and that massive flank from T-Dove and Tauzera there really allowing them to take advantage of that fight with Penta. Penta could have been the ones doing the flanking, but they opted to stay around that window. That got them 2 early downs, and as a result, unfortunately, they find it difficult to make any headway in that fight. So they're out. 10 teams left remaining, and Red Zone are struggling to stay alive here. They're taking a lot of shots as they try and revive fallen comrades. That said, I believe there are still 4 of them in the game. So if they're able to survive this onslaught and get to a safe position, they could be in a very, very nice place moving forward. Invictus looking for a cheeky Car 98 down on Milter. Won't be able to find it. These are basically the only buildings left in Milter that are still in the circle. They're going to have to move out very shortly. Oh my god! Alright. I'm liking the Knights. They fought and they won that compound, but a little bit of luck has certainly followed them there. Bear in mind that they are down to 3 people and the entire world knows that they're there right now. They are effectively surrounded on all sides. Are they in a good position? Yes. Are they in a guaranteed position? Hell no. So let's see what Kramer and co can make of this. Absolutely insane action coming down in game number 4. Technically, the Knights and nobody else inside the next circle as things currently stand. Texas getting down at the moment. Rastunmar, they are exchanging kills with Team 1 right now. They don't really want those downs to be exchanged too quickly. They need to focus on the potential CQBs that are coming in as people pop by and lob frags into the compound. We might see one of these teams in vehicles just YOLO it for the compound that Knights are in and try and take a close quarters fight. Entirely possible at this point. Team Singularity now, after dispensing Penta, will have Red Zone in their sights. I don't think Red Zone are interested in this compound at all. It's not in the next circle, but they are putting themselves in a very open position, and that's why they have approximately 1 million smokes up, but it doesn't look like it's stopping those shots from going down. In the meantime, Xenon Gaming get finished off as well. Red Zone, I think, have one down, but they managed to just about survive. Oh, Jerpsy almost getting run over by his own UAZ, but it won't matter because McCann will finish him off, and I think that is the end of Team Finstack. Tauzera, in the meantime, finishing off Mirasue. And I think that also spells the end of Invictus Aquilas. 5 teams remaining with 13 alive here in game number 4. If you're just tuning in, where were you? I'm Jorisar, with me is iTwister, and that is Froz going down to Ruston. I have to say, the sniping from Team 1 this game has been absolutely on point. They're taking out Red Zone now as well. So they're fighting battles on multiple fronts. Kramer coming in to try and steal a kill as well. Successfully does so on Lost. And Team 1, they're in pure smoke mode right now. They're looking for opportunities. They have gotten 6 kills between them and have been relatively strong with their sniping. They've gotten way more downs as well, although that isn't recorded here. But how do they get into a position to finish? The Knights are obviously in the strongest position. Iwasabi, what an incredible job he did in game number 1. Oh dear, being forced in by the blue more quickly though. And he gets taken down by Drayden. That is Ambush Esport, ladies and gentlemen, out of the game. Iwasabi bringing his team to a credible 4th in the previous game, but not quite able to do this. Oh no, pardon me. They finish in 4th this game as well. Would you look at that? Beautiful effort there from Ambush Esport. I do beg your pardon. Nice, consistent points finishes are what... That's what's going to get teams in the top 5. That's what's going to buy their ticket to Leicester. That's what's going to give them the chance to compete for millions of dollars in the PUBG Invitational Global Finals in Berlin. Knights, though, consistent performer, feared by many and for good reason. Lots of teamwork, incredible individual skill, and looking for opportunities right now. They won't quite spot Team 1 over on the north side just yet. Oh, Jesus, that scared the crap out of me. Close enough that you don't actually see the teammate designator in front. I have, on occasion, accidentally shot a teammate when that's happened before. Definitely wasn't Twister who's observing for you today, don't worry. Except maybe it was. We'll talk about that another time. Anyhow, 3 teams with left alive. We have the Knights, we have Team 1, and we have Team Singularity. One of these teams is going to finish Saturday by winning their game in the PGI EU Qualifier Final. The blue zone is now coming in. Knights are getting forced out of the compound. It all comes down to this for them. They've successfully managed to get into 3rd place, doing what they've done so far. Great sniping. That's actually both teams taking out Rustunma and Mikas as they move down, which means it is a 1v1 situation. He who moves last, effectively, in circles like this. Kramer getting taken down behind this tree. Multiple angles, not quite wide enough is that tree to manage to shield them from the onslaught. Tauzera going down to about half health, going full auto. Draydon, though, managing to get the trade, but Texas goes down as well. And we are down to 2 people from Singularity. Now 1 person, 2 teams with 5 alive. But how many are standing? It looks like it's a 1v1 as far as people standing are concerned. Drayden looking for that final kill that will propel his team into 1st place. T-Dove, the last man standing for Singularity as the circle finishes closing in. Tauzera is going to get the revive. Kramer looks like will get the revive as well. So we're going back up to a 2v2. Tauzera being incredibly close and on low health without healing takes Drayden and Kramer by surprise. That is it. Team Singularity are able to win game number 4 and as a result propel themselves into a very strong position going into tomorrow's games. Congratulations still to Knights. They had some fantastic positioning and were able to rotate out of the compound, but couldn't quite finish in the end. Still a respectable 7 kills rather, I should say, and a 2nd place coming in for them. And in 3rd place, Team 1, consistent performers doing extremely well. Fake, Rafi, Rustunmar, and Mikas. And again, Iwasabi and co. Ambush Esport consistently racking up the points there in 4th place with Red Zone just following.